Burkina Faso, a land once overshadowed by instability and foreign control, is now the center of global attention. And at the heart of it all is a 36-year-old soldier turned leader, Captain Ibrahim Traoré. In a time when many African leaders cling to power and tradition, Traoré is rewriting the rules with bold reforms, powerful speeches, and a deviant stance against neocolonialism. Born in 1988 in the town of Bondoké in West Africa, Burkina Faso, Ibrahim Traoré came from humble beginnings. Like many in his generation, he witnessed the growing frustration of citizens over poverty, insecurity, and foreign influence, particularly France's long-standing role in West Africa's affairs. He studied geology at the University of Ouagadougou before joining the military. Traoré's disciplines and sharp mind quickly earned him respect, but it was during the fight against terrorism in the north of the country that his leadership truly emerged. On September 30, 2022, Traoré led a military coup that ousted then interim President Paul-Henri Damiba. Damiba himself had come to the power just 8 months earlier, also through a coup, but public frustration had grown. People saw little change and insecurity worsened. Traoré stepped in, citing Damiba's failure to tackle jihadist violence that had displaced over 2 million people. The people shared. For the first time in years, many felt a new sense of hope. What makes Traoré different isn't his age, it's his message. He speaks directly to the people, often without prepared speeches, using simple, powerful words that resonate deeply with everyday Burkinabés. He wears military fatigues, no flashy suits, no lavish entourage. He lives modestly, reportedly refusing a presidential salary and pushing his ministers to do the same. It represents a return to Thomas Sankara legacy, the revolutionary icon who once led Burkina Faso in the 1980s. The fight we are in is not just against terrorism, Traoré said in a speech. It is a fight for dignity, freedom, and African sovereignty. One of Traoré's top priorities has been ending the violence caused by jihadist insurgents. Instead of relying heavily on foreign forces, he launched a massive recruitment drive, calling for 50,000 civilian volunteers to support the army in defending the country. He also invested in building local defense forces, revamping military training, and cutting red tape. His strategy: take the fight to the enemy without homegrown strength, not just foreign aid. Although the battle is far from over, several towns have already been liberated. People who fled are beginning to return. It's still dangerous, but the morale is changing. One of the boldest moves from Traoré administration was cutting military ties with France. He ordered French troops to leave, closed down the French radio stations accused of misinformation, and began pivoting towards other global partners like Russia, Turkey, and China. This sent shockwaves across Europe and the West, but Traoré stood firm, saying Burkina Faso had the right to choose its path without being dictated by former colonial powers. Many other African countries, Mali, Niger, soon followed the same path. Traoré's action ignited a wave of pan-Africanist support across the Sahel. But Traoré's leadership is not just about war and independence. He is also pushing development. In just under 2 years, his government has launched over 25 major projects, including new schools and mobile classrooms for displaced children, 3 healthcare initiatives in rural areas, military-led road constructions across strategic regions, energy independence projects using solar, a national gold refinery to control Burkina Faso mineral wealth. While progress is still ongoing, many citizens say this is the first time they see real action, not just promises. Of course, it's not all praise. Critics worry about media censorship, the risk of militarization of government, and the unclear timeline for a return to civil rule. Traoré has promised election but says they will only come when the country is secure. There is also concern about new alliances. especially with Russia Wagner Group, which operates in the shadow of African conflicts. But Traore insists that Burkina Faso will remain independent, free to work with any partner who respects its sovereignty. Ibrahim Traoré is not just a president. He has become a symbol. To some, he's a revolutionary. To others, he's a gamble. But in the street of Ouagadougou and across Africa, there is a growing feeling that the continent is waking up and that a new generation of African leaders is ready to rise. Only time will tell where this bold experiment leads. But one thing is clear: Africa is watching and the world is listening.